Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we are out here by our Kioti CS2520, and I'm going to show you how to remove the backhoe on this. This is actually pretty simple, but it can be a little tedious. The main thing is be patient with it and take your time and actually watch what you're doing. And the reason I say that is because the pins on here, you have to get them loosened up in order to pull them out. If you just lift up all the weight on the backhoe and just lift up the tractor, the pins actually will get loose and then retighten. So you've got to be right in between there to get the pins loose. So follow along. I'll show you how that works. It's super easy, and I'll take you through step by step and show you how easy this can be. So the first thing is to make sure everything is pulled in tight on the tractor. So make sure your feet are pulled up tight. And the reason I'm doing this is because you've got to be able to take your latches loose. In order to be able to spread this thing out and lift it up. So first thing here, I'm gonna go ahead and set my feet down. And I'm gonna go ahead and set my boom down and my dipper and just kind of spread them out. So I'm gonna set the bucket down kind of flat on the ground. So after you get everything kind of just stretched out, you don't want to put your feet like all the way down on the ground just yet. You can kind of have them hovering above the ground just an inch or two. As you can see, they're not actually touching. So we're going to take our boom lever and we're going to push down on the boom just a little bit to free up the pins. You see the movement right there in the pins. And you can see how that loosened it right up. And you just drop it right in the hole. So the weight right now is actually sitting on the boom and stuff here on the backhoe. Do we just come over to the other side? This one's a little harder to get to. And that pin's a little bit snug, so I'm going to adjust the boom just a little bit. You should see it loosen up. Nope, too much. There it goes. So you remember what I was saying about the whole patience thing. So I had to move that back and forth to get that to really loosen up where I needed it. So now we got our pins out. We'll set the feet down. And I'm going to raise it up just a little bit, and you'll see what happens. It actually is going to lift up the whole backhoe assembly, and it'll pull it up off the bottom pins. So you can see how it lifted it up. And now I'm going to let the boom actually up, and that's going to let this thing pivot down. And you'll see that it's just going to fold right off of the machine. So you can see how it just pivots right up and it lifts off the tractor. Now you can move the tractor forward. Now that we shut the tractor off, all we have to do now is disconnect the lines. We do need to cycle the loader valve, just run it in all directions and let all the pressure off. So now we can just disconnect all of our lines. And it doesn't really matter which one you disconnect first. You got 3 total lines that are going to stay with the backhoe. But then one of them is actually a jumper, which is this red one, and it plugged into the backhoe line. But now this red one is actually going to plug right back into the tractor. So now you can just put your caps on your backhoe lines. Try to keep as much dust out of there as possible. And just kind of put our lines down in there. And now we're ready to pull away from the backhoe. And that's pretty much all there is to it. That actually is a very simple process. And like I say, the main thing is getting your pins to release, because it's not you just put all the weight on the backhoe and like push on it and they release. There's actually a neutral point for those pins. So if you're pushing all the pressure all the way back, it tightens the pins back up. Or if it is all the way down, it tightens them up there. So you got to get right in between there to loosen those pins up. So it's just a little bit of patience there and just watching what you're doing and watching for those pins to get loose, and then they just slide right out. And then once you get that, then you can just pick your backhoe up off the tractor using your feet and using the boom and the bucket and everything on here to kind of manipulate the angles. Now, a person could put blocks or something under this, because this is going to sink down over time, but I have not had it yet sink down to the point where I couldn't rehook it up to the tractor. And all you do is just back up to the backhoe and then hook your lines up, and then you can just lift it back up and put it back into the position to be able to hook it up. I was hoping to have a whole bunch of grass mowing and deck videos, because that's one of the things that I got this for, is to kind of replace my zero-turn mower. But we have been kind of having a drought around here, and our grass has not grown for the last 2 months. We have pretty much nothing to cut. So maybe we'll get some rain here in the near future and maybe kind of green up just a little bit before fall actually hits completely. So thanks for checking out the video today. If you enjoyed it, I appreciate you hitting that thumbs up button. Share this video with any Coyote owners you know. And until next time, keep it outdoors, and we'll see you on the next one.